In this video, we're going to take a look at a number of different questions involving estimation, the timestamps for which I've left down in the description. So let's get started on our first example. So whenever we've got a question that we're asked to estimate, we want to round the numbers that we're given to one significant figure. We've actually covered rounding to significant figures in another video, and I've left the link for that video down in the description. So starting with this 47.3, I want to round it to one significant figure. So the first significant figure would be the first digit that isn't a 0, and in this case it's the 4. So we've got to make a decision now, will that 4 remain as a 4 or round up to a 5? Well, we look to the digit to the right, which is a 7, so that means the 4 is actually going to round up to a 5, and then the rest of the digits we replace with a 0. So 47.3 would actually round up to 50. Okay, let's move on to the 63.6. So we're going to do exactly the same thing here. 6 would be our first significant figure, and we'd keep that the same as we have a 3 to the right hand side. So everything else is going to go to a 0, so that means 63.6 would actually round down to 60. And then finally, we have 12.3. So 1 would be our first significant figure. The 2 to the right means that we wouldn't round the 1 up, it's going to remain as a 1, and we can replace the other digits with a 0, as 12.3 would round down to 10. So we now have a much easier calculation. So starting with the numerator, we have 50 multiplied by 60, which gives us 3,000. We then have to do 3,000 divided by 10, which is 300. So our estimated value for this question would just be 300. Okay, so let's have a look at another question. So again, we've got to figure out an estimate, but this time we've got 33.5 multiplied by 57.2, which we then need to divide by 0.47. So starting with the first number of 33.5, rounding that to one significant figure, this number would actually round down to 30. Okay, looking to the number to the right, we have 57.2. So again, rounding this to one significant figure, this number would actually round up to 60. And now for the denominator, we have 0.47. So our first significant figure is the first digit that isn't a 0. So in this number, the first significant figure would actually be the 4. So we've got to make the decision, does that 4 remain as a 4 or round up to a 5? And just like before, we look to the digit to the right, and we've got a 7. So that means the 4 is actually going to round up. So 0.47 would actually round up to 0.5. So now we need to calculate this. So starting with the numerator, we've got 30 multiplied by 60. Well, that's going to give us 1,800. We then need to divide this by 0.5. So I'm dividing by a decimal now. So to make this question easier, I want to find an equivalent fraction where I have an integer on the bottom. So one thing I could do here is actually multiply the numerator and denominator both by 10, as that would give me 5 on the bottom and 18,000 on the top. But what I'm going to do instead here is actually multiply by 2. Because if I do 0.5 times 2, that's just going to give me 1. So because I've multiplied the denominator by 2, I also need to multiply the numerator by 2. So 1,800 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 3,600. So we now have 3,600 divided by 1, which is just 3,600. So that would be my estimated value for this question. So now let's take a look at a final few examples. So feel free to pause the video here and have a go at these questions, and we'll go through the solutions in just a few moments. So for this question, we have Eric gets paid £11.15 for every hour he works. Each week, Eric works 42 hours. We need to work out an estimate for the amount Eric gets paid in a week. So we're told how much Eric earns for each hour he works, and we're told how many hours that he works in a week. So all we'd have to do to figure out the actual value that he gets paid in a week is simply multiply these two values together, we'd do 11.15 multiplied by 42. But for this question, we only need to estimate. So what we're going to do is we're going to round these two numbers again to one significant figure. So starting with the 11.15, if I was to round that to one significant figure, I would get 10. And then looking at the 42, rounding that to one significant figure, I would get 40. So we're now going to do 10 multiplied by 40, which gives us 400. So our estimate for the amount Eric gets paid in a week would be £400. Now, for part B to this question, it asks us if our answer to part A is an underestimate or an overestimate. So let's have a look at what we've done. So as we said at the beginning, if we wanted to figure out the exact amount Eric earned in a week, we'd have to multiply 11.15 by 42. But when we rounded, we started with the 11.15 and we rounded that down to 10. And then for his hours, he actually worked 42 hours. But when we rounded this to one significant figure, we rounded it down to 40. And then we multiplied these numbers together to give us our £400. So we can see that we've actually rounded down the amount of money he gets paid each hour, and we've rounded down the amount of hours he works in a week. And then we've multiplied these numbers together. So this would actually be an underestimate, as we've rounded both of these numbers down. Okay, let's take a look at our final question. So for this question, we have a shape is formed by cutting a square out of a rectangle. And for part A to the question, we need to work out an estimate for the area of the shape. So to find the area of this shape that's been created, we actually need to figure out the area of the full rectangle, and then we're going to take away the area of the square. So what can be useful in questions like these is to draw the shapes separately. So I'm going to split them up like this. So because we're estimating, we're going to round the sides of the shapes to one significant figure. So starting on the rectangle, we have 5.4 meters for the height. Well, this would round down to 5 meters. Now for the width, we have 7.3 meters. Well, this would also round down to 7 meters. And then looking at the square, because it's a square, all the sides are equal. We have that the side length is equal to 1.91 meters. Well, if we were to round this to one significant figure, this would actually round up to 2. So the side lengths of our square would actually be 2 meters. So we're cutting that square out of the rectangle, so we need to find the area of both shapes first. So to find the area of our rectangle, we're simply going to do base multiplied by height. So 7 meters times 5 meters is going to give us 35 meters squared. And then for the square, we're going to do base times height. But because it's a square, the side length is exactly the same. So we've got 2 times 2, or 2 squared, which is 4 meters squared. So now I'm going to take these two areas, and because that square is being cut out of the rectangle, to figure out the area that's left, I need to take these values away. So if we do 35 meters squared, take away 4 meters squared, that's going to leave us with 31 meters squared. And that would be the estimate for the area of our shape that's left over when we cut the square out of the rectangle. Now for part B to the question, we have, is our answer to part A an underestimate or an overestimate? Well, let's just take a look at the original values we were given for the lengths of our shapes. For the rectangle, we had 7.3 and 5.4, and we actually rounded these values down. And then for the square, we had lengths of 1.91, and we actually rounded these up to 2. So for our estimate, we've actually made the rectangle smaller as we've rounded the side lengths down, and then we've taken away the square. The area of the square we've actually made larger as we've rounded these values up. So our estimate would actually be an underestimate, because if we actually use the exact values, we would have a larger area for the rectangle than what we used, as we had 5.4 and 7.3 for the side lengths, and we would be taking away a smaller area for the square, because the side lengths of the square wouldn't be 2, they would be 1.91. So we can say our answer is an underestimate, as the area for the rectangle will be greater, and the area that we're taking away with the square will be smaller. So well done if you followed along with those questions, and that's it for this video. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and consider subscribing. If there are any topics at all that you'd like me to go through next, then please just let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to make some videos on those topics as soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.